Hello and welcome to this WCS Sports Connection Game Day. I'm your co-host Jeremy Qualls, and with me as always is co-host Tate Mathews. Welcome to this week's edition. Before we get into basketball action, Tate, let's tidy up the football season with the East-West All-Star game that was taking place last week. We had several of the WCS Sports Conference guys participating, one being Deion Sanders from Centennial, Austin Percy, the receiver from Ravenwood, Corey Fatoni from Franklin, the kicker, and coaching with the honors of coaching on that team is Fairview's head coach, Chris Hughes. What do we know about that game?
All of them played very, very well. The West won, I believe it was 28-16. They had it was really neat how many just top-notch players are in this state now on both sides. Almost all of our guys went West. The West won. Deion Sanders, I was glad to see this too. Some people may be questioning Deion's speed. Well, Deion rushed for over 100 yards. He ran for the first touchdown, which was a 40-yarder in the first quarter, and then he had a touchdown pass. So Deion Sanders showed out, played great. I talked to some guys that coached in that thing. They said, hey, man, if this guy doesn't get some more offers, and they said the same thing about Percy, there's something wrong with college football. So that was neat. All these guys did. Corey Fatoni, we know he's already going to Missouri. He's got one locked up. But it was just a really good thing for both Deion and for Austin. It was just one more audition for the college recruiters out there to show them what they can do against the best talent in the state. They both played well. The West team did not throw the ball a whole lot because obviously they were passing. I mean, they were rushing the ball so much. So Austin didn't get a whole lot of balls thrown to him. He got one thrown to him. He made the catch. But as he's done all year long, they could not quit talking about what a physical blocker he was downfield and on the crackbacks. And they just did real well. Chris Hughes was in the game. You could tell he wasn't calling the plays because they wouldn't run the ball that much. But everybody did very, very well, represented us very well. Deion Sanders, they didn't give an MVP, but if they would have, it would have been him.
Absolutely. I know I saw where they had 6 Metro players in there. Tell us a little bit real quick how the selection committee puts together these two teams.
Well, the TACA, Bill Marbett and the TACA, they designate the East head coach and the West head coach. Then what he does is each coach, they form their staff, and then they send out to all the member schools, anybody from your team that you want to nominate for this team, you send them in, you submit your nominations, and then they go from there. And then as a staff, they pick the team. They try to make sure, they've got someone from 1A, 2A. They try to represent all classes, the privates too, but that's how.
Sure. When we had 3 representatives, and Metro had 6, whatever the case may be, we had some of the top quarterback perspectives anywhere. And the quarterback hit list, courtesy of quarterback hit list, put out their top 10 list this week. We had 2 make the top 10. At number 5, obviously, Joe Critchlow. We've talked about Critchlow all year long, high quarterback efficiency rating, very high intelligent kid, passes the ball well. And number 8, Cole Brown. Now, Cole was quick to tell me on Twitter that they got his stats and his numbers wrong, and I'm sure they did because they may not have put in that state championship game. But both those kids had a great, exceptional year. We're excited to know that Cole Brown right now had his first offer on the table from Morehead State.
He does, yeah, and I think that's going to grow too. But that's a great place for him. We talked about it. I didn't think he'd know who the most famous quarterback in Morehead State history is. You did know.
That's a good sports trivia question.
That's right.
And the only way that I would know that is because when I played at Austin Peay, we would go out there and check the field because that was like the lure, go see the field, because Phil Sims Field
That's
there,
right.
And it's pretty neat to know that Phil Sims, the great NFL quarterback that played at Morehead State, because that's pretty much you put Morehead on the map football-wise.
Yeah, without a doubt. And let me say this. Joe Critchlow, he was an alternate for the team. I'm guessing basketball probably played into that. I don't know if Coach Wilson would have been real big on him, getting him as late as he did and then losing him for another week and playing another game. But Joe was an alternate, and I can tell you from watching the game, either side could have used Joe in this game, and Cole. But, I think Cole will get some more offers of it. He's a really just a good young man.
I think so, too. And back to Deion. Deion Sanders right now has an offer on the table from New Mexico State.
Correct.
As well as his teammate Tyrell Dotson, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And that's a pretty good offer. Probably a little too far from home, but I think as it progresses, those offers will probably come more often to those 2 guys at Centennial.
That's right. And it doesn't really matter. One, for those that don't know, Deion's an unbelievable baseball player. Deion's going to get a very good scholarship offer on one of those 2 sports. Georgia Tech has actually kind of come into play for Deion. But that might be one of those things where as things progress in the recruiting season, January, February, if some things don't fall right for Georgia Tech, he could maybe be one of their guys. So he's going to end up at a very good place, one way or the other.
With their offense that they run at Georgia Tech and him being a power runner, that seems to fit pretty good.
Perfect. That's right.
Pretty good. So
and remember, he plays baseball in the spring, so you get him up there and get him in a full year of weight training and speed training with their guys. He's going to be fine. All I know is this: every game he plays in, he shows out. Right?
Sure enough. Good point. So as we wrap up football, we're going to come back later, hopefully, at a later time with our all WCS GameDay all tournament team, all regular season team. But before we do that, we have a WCTV GameDay exclusive. We're going to release today. Yes, that's folks, right? Right, folks. We're going to release the Director Cup points right now as it sits. Now, this is just preliminary in the first season. This is also not encompassing, obviously, the spring sports, but right now through the fall sports. Wrestling is still on the table. Boys and girls basketball is still on the table. But right now, sitting in first place with a 28-point differential over second place is Brentwood High School sitting there with 300 points. Of course, obviously, the volleyball team helped that a little bit.
77 of them. That's pretty good.
77 points, which is the maximum you can get with the multiplier effect of winning the state championship. Sitting in second place at 272 points is Ravenwood. Now, I find this interesting because as we progress through the show here and we talk about basketball, you kind of see some things emerging. Brentwood, Ravenwood. Brentwood, Ravenwood. So this is going to be something that if the spring sports play out like they did with the fall sports, this could be going all the way down the wire, which is what this was intended to do to make a difference maker for the Directors Cup this year in Division I. In Division II ranks right now, Page is leading Fairview. Going on down the list on Division I, guys, on our Big Six. In first place, obviously, Brentwood. Second place, Ravenwood. Sitting in third place, Franklin. Fourth place, Centennial. Only 2 points separate those two. And fifth place right now, Indy and Old Sparty sitting in sixth. But don't sleep on them because basketball, they're going to pump those points up. So that was an exclusive here. We'll be releasing those on Twitter. That is the Director Cup points for the year. So let's get into basketball, Tate. We're going to look at the girls' side first. Right now, it's pretty much clear cut in the district on our Division I group of the powers to be coming to a head between Dixon and Ravenwood. But let's start with our Division II group first. Let's talk about Fairview. Fairview sitting right now at 3-7 overall, 2-3 in the district. Jessie Mangram's playing well for them right now. She had 15 the other night. And Sarah Mangrum as well, double digits. Now, I'm not 100% certain if they're sisters or not, but they're playing well. They're both averaging double digits. They had coming off 2 wins in a row, one over Stewart County and one over Montgomery Central. Wayne McGowan's club's playing pretty good right now.
Yeah, they are, and I'm guessing they probably are because they spell it the exact same way too. We're going to say they're sisters. I think they are, but we're going to find out. But yeah, they are playing well, and we talked about it in other things. You want to talk about a tough district now. You look at that district there in Camden, Creekwood, Hickman, Waverly. That's a tough district. So, 2 in a row, but I think that they going into Christmas break, that's probably about where they wanted to be getting in their district schedule. But it's a tough one, but he's got them playing well. As long as in girls basketball, boys basketball too, but in girls basketball, if you can have at least 2 of your players averaging in double figures, you got a chance to win some ball games, right?
Doing pretty good. And sitting right now, you alluded to their district standing. Sitting in first place in that district right now, Camden sitting undefeated at 5-0. Camden usually has a pretty solid girls club. Tom Mullinex over at Creekwood does an exceptional job. They're 4-0, so they're kind of tied for first place right now. Hickman County, surprisingly, sitting at 500 at 2-2. Not sure they can sustain that as the year goes on. Waverly sitting at 2-2 as well. East Hickman sitting at 2-3. Fairview sitting in sixth place currently right now at 2-3. Lewis County also at 2-3. Stewart County at 2-3. So we have 4 teams right there that could go either way. Middle of the pack, Montgomery Central round off the group at 9th place at 0-5. So really what you want to do is at this point in time, you kind of know where you are and you want to get ready for that district tournament. Sit right in the middle of the pack, maybe get that 4 or 5 game. You're sitting okay to make it to the region to get to survive that first round, survive and advance. That's what it's all about in basketball. And get themselves in there. On the other side of Division II, we have Page sitting at 3-6. Page did a kind of a funny job scheduling this year. Not that I disagree with it, but they haven't played any district games prior to Christmas. Not going to. They're sitting at a perfect 0-0 record right now. Coach Billy Mooney He has spreading the wealth. They have 4 or 5 girls averaging 5+ a game, so they're a scrappy team. I have seen them play. They went in and actually had a good win over Stratford, 37-27. But their district record sitting right now, like I said, at 0-0. So what I've done is rank them according to their overall record. So let's go down the district record for me right now on Paige's group.
Cascade's sitting at the top. They're at 2-6. Giles 5-2. Marshall 2-7. Springfield 1-4. CPO obviously at 8-0. They're the best. They're the number 1 team in that district. But here's the reason they don't have any district games yet. It's a 6-team district.
Right.
Fairview's in a 10-team district. So
that's right.
I would say that CPA is probably the heavy favorite in that district. But, hey, Stratford, that was on Saturday. That was a good win for
That was a good win for
Coach
them.
Mooney's squad.
To go up into Metro and play probably a more athletic team and get some things done is a good win. Like you said, CPA sitting at 8-0. That's probably reflective of their boys' record as well. I think the boys have lost 2, but we'll talk about that later. CPA right now is a class of AA, 2A basketball. Doesn't matter what district, what region they're in. They're the team, probably the favorite, definitely in boys and girls.
Yeah, without a doubt. And they're only 2 years removed, both of them, I guess, on the boys' side because they came up short too. But Coach Legate, Becky Legate, she's 2 years removed from a state championship on the girls' side there. But, like you said, hey, finish as high as you can and get in that district tournament, stay away from them, and then tournament basketball, all you got to do is beat them once.
Well, when we were coaching, we always sold out the fact there's 3 seasons. Okay, your preseason all the way to Christmas, that's season 1, because if you have football players on the guys' side, you might get them early, you might get them late. So basically it's a learning process for your kids that may not be in the normal rotation because football guys, to get them some minutes, understanding basketball, get everybody in game shape. Christmas is the time to try to mesh that as best as possible, going all the way into the end of the regular season. Then season 3, obviously, is your district tournament where everybody goes in 0-0. If you have not had a successful season up until that point, you still have a fighting chance to go in, upset somebody, and continue on. So if our district record was not reflective of where we thought we should be, we sold out to the fact we're getting ready for the district tournament. Now, I've had some good times at that, and I've had some bad times at that. Yeah. But majority of the time, they bought into what we were selling and said, you know what, let's sell out. Matter of fact, we threw in a different offense that we never even showed in a regular game, all the way up into the first round of district. And then you come out, you're running new stuff. They're already prepared. They know all the verbiage, all the names of the plays, everything out, and you're throwing the wrench into plan. And sometimes you can get up on those folks. So, we're looking at right now, Fairview may not be, and Page may not be, or any of the other teams. But there's always a chance in basketball. That's the beauty of basketball, going into that district tournament, upsetting somebody, and continuing on.
That's right. It's kind of like the playoffs. You got to get there, but then it really doesn't matter what your record is in the season as long as you go a long way in the tournament. Nobody's going to put an asterisk by, oh, yeah, but they were 4-10 in the regular season. Doesn't matter.
That's correct. And what you try to avoid is that 1-6 game, that 1-9 game, however many teams you have in there. You may have a bye. If you have a bye, that helps. But if there's not a bye and that top-seeded team comes in and plays the back end, you try to avoid that as much as possible. If you can get 1 or 2 wins, get in the middle of the pack, anything can happen. So moving on to our Division I guys, our Big Six. Brentwood sitting right now 13-0, 4-0. Coach Sig is extremely happy with the way they're playing right now. Jenny Roy, the Belmont commit, is playing well. This past Friday night, they go into the Rebellion's house, go down there. Coach Goodwin and the Lady Rebels play Franklin. Had a great game plan. Coach Goodwin is kind of slow, low, ugly, like they want it. Game was close, but Brentwood ended up pulling away. Jenny Roy kind of the cream rising as the game went on to beat the Lady Rebels.
Yeah, they're the cream of the crop right now in girls basketball in Williamson County. They're definitely either them. Some people might say Dixon County, but it looks like we're on a crash course in this district. Dixon County, Brentwood, these are going to be 2 really, really good games. And we talked about it. Franklin, the Lady Rebels, they've gotten better every year under Coach Goodwin. They're getting more competitive, and they're playing very well. This game kind of showed. They played with them for a while, and then, like you said, they kind of just wore them down towards the end. And you can see they're not quite there yet. But this Brentwood team is really good. Jenny Roy, she's over 1,000-point scorer, which, again, it's not like they don't have other girls scoring and she's getting all the shots. That goes to show, 1, she's probably been starting for a long time, and then 2, most of the shots she puts up, she makes. So Brentwood just wore them down. They're getting closer, but they're not there yet.
Well, Coach Goodwin she's pleased with where they are right now because I tell you why, they're young. One of her best players right now is the Harris girl. If I'm not mistaken, she's a freshman. So the future's bright for the Lady Rebels. They played with them for 3 quarters. They were there. Was not a bad game plan at all. I look for the Lady Rebels to kind of throw a wrench in the plan in the district as it comes district tournament time.
I think so too. I think we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, but I think obviously Dixon County, Brentwood High, they're 1 and 2 right now, 1 and 1A. And then we're not quite sure who the third one is yet. But I think both Ravenwood, who we're going to talk about in a little bit, and Franklin, they're kind of making their case of, hey, we're third tier right now, and we're fine with that. We just want to keep getting better as a team, get ready for the tournament, and then maybe pick one of those 2 off.
Absolutely. When we come back from break, we're going to finish out the girls' side, and then we're going to hit the boys' side of this year's WCS Sports Conference basketball. This is Game Day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
My name is Caitlin, and my book is The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. My favorite part was when Edward got thrown off the boat and he got found by a fisherman and his wife. I think other people would like this book because it's really good adventure and it has really good pictures.
Hello and welcome back to WCS Game Day. I'm your co-host, Jimmy Qualls, and with me is Tate Mathews. All right, Tate, let's give a quick rundown of the girls. We're going to finish those out, and then we're going to go to the boys' side of the WCS Sports Conference. Let's talk about Centennial real quick. 4 and 5 right now. Coach Hills started with 4 straight wins. They're 0 and 3 in the district right now. They dropped their last 5 games with a 24-71 loss to Dixon. I think that's a reoccurring fact that we've already talked about. Going to be tough for them. Centennial plug away, but they're sitting right now. There's 4 teams that are in the mix of it that haven't played each other, so that will pan themselves out. Next would be Franklin. We talked about Franklin just a little bit before the break. 3 and 9, 0 and 3. Last 4 games that they lost: Riverdale, Dixon, Brentwood, Beach. It's a pretty tough schedule right there.
Oh, yeah, and remember, they've already played Riverdale twice. So 2 of those 9 losses are to a top 50 at the very least program in the country.
Yep, I'm sure Coach Barrett would love to hear you say it this morning. You make sure you send him the link to that so he can get his shout out.
It's always fun when you're scheduling Riverdale. It's a good thing for the boys, not such a good thing for the girls.
Yeah, the boys are like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll
the girls
play 'em.
are like, are you kidding me? So obviously we know that Riverdale has that storied tradition there. Like you said, good point. 2 losses on Franklin's schedule come from Riverdale. Indy right now sitting at 2 and 9, 0 and 2 in the district. Once again, they haven't. Indy, Franklin, Centennial, Summit, all those right there, that'll all play themselves out as the year goes along. They lost 2 straight for last games to Brentwood and Riverdale. Riverdale coming over right now in the ladies' side and wearing WCS Sports Conference out. That will be the only positive I'll say about Coach Barrett and his club. The next game that Indy will play will be over Christmas break, obviously. Ravenwood, 9 and 3, 3 and 0, have won 3 in a row, all district games over Summit, Centennial, and Indy. Mariska Harris is doing a pretty good job right now.
She is, and I think we talked about it. They're right there with Franklin for that 3rd place spot. They've got a young lady named Kira Downey. If you read the box scores, she's playing well, man. She's putting up some big points. She's really leading the way for the Raptors, but that's the most pleasant surprise I've seen all year long. 9 and 3 for the Lady Raptors. She's doing a great job.
And to round off the group right now, Summit is 4-9, 0 and 2. Coach Goodwin there. Josh Goodwin, having lost 3 in a row to Marshall, Dixon, Ravenwood. That's the common theme there. Now, so we're looking at tied for first place right now between 3 teams in the district: Ravenwood, Brentwood, Dixon. I think 2 of those will be the ones on the collision course, and it's not a bad seat to come in 3rd place right there from Mariska Harris, hosting the first round, playing first round against a lower tier team. Also, you're sitting at you got Centennial, Franklin, Indy, and Summit without a win. So, I mean, this is long way down the road to sit there and see how the seedings will fall out.
That second group you just talked about, they are all very, very close. I don't think there's any way to pick where that thing's going to fall out, record-wise. I think they are all. Any one of those can beat the other one.
All right, so let's flip the coin to the boys' side of it. Let's talk about the boys' basketball side. Division II, Fairview right now struggling, 1 and 9, 0 and 5. I know Coach King out there is looking. They've lost looking for a win. They lost 6 in a row. They are playing East Hickman right here. That is an opportunity to get a win, to get on back on track. But let's talk about their district. Creekwood right now sitting at 6-0. Now, going into the favorites of that this year, a lot of people picked Waverly. Coach Trotter over at Waverly, athletic, whatever. Creekwood beat them 28, put up 99 on them. I'm telling you right now, if you haven't had a chance to see Creekwood play, that's the best high school boys shooting team I've ever seen. They can flat shoot it from 1 to 5.
Well, and when I saw that Waverly score, I thought that's got to be wrong. Waverly's usually the one that scores. No, it was Creekwood, 99 points. There's not many misses when you're scoring 99 points. You're right, they're really good.
And they don't play a lick of defense. I'll tell them if he was sitting right here, I'm good friends with the coach. But you know what? Their motive is if it doesn't matter. Come out scores because we're off to the races and they shoot it well. Montgomery Central also sitting undefeated in there. I think they're going to be a distant third from Waverly and Creekwood. Camden, Stewart County, Hickman, Lewis, East Hickman, and Fairview rounding off that bunch there. I think with those, I really think between Montgomery Central, Camden, Stewart, Hickman, those spots are up in the air, and Lewis, East, Hickman, and Fairview, those spots are up in there, and that's early for Fairview's district there. Page 5-7, like we said earlier on the girls' side, they're 0-0 right now in district play. They've won their last 2 out of 3. Coach Ringstaff there and lost to Smith County on that 55-56 heartbreaker. Their next game, they play in 2 Christmas tournaments. They play at Community Christmas tournament against John Pope Paul II. Eagleville Christmas tournament against Eagleville and Lee Academy. I expect that should be a pretty good tournament for them. Try to get 2 of the 3 at least, if not all 3. Their district, however, is killer. They have CPA, the runaway favorite for the state title, and second place. For second place, you get to play Marshall or Giles right now, who year in, year out are tough. Maybe not so much this year, but year in, year out, they're state contenders as well. Cascade, Page, and Spring Hill. Spring Hill sitting right there in last place in that group,
That's right.
who usually, year in, year out, are contenders as well. But that's a tough group. So quickly, let's move on to our Division I group. Brentwood Bruins. Got a chance to see those guys the other night. They're sitting at 11-2. One of those losses come to a heartbreaker to Blackman, lost by 2. 3-0 in the district. They've won 4 in a row. Last win, of course, was at Franklin Friday night against at Franklin, 66-47. That's game's a whole lot closer than what it showed. There were 2 college coaches in the house that night. Had Casey Alexander sitting there from Lipscomb, looking at Lipscomb commit Garrison Mathews, and you also had Jason Shelton there looking at some of Brentwood's players. And I'm telling you, the best player on the floor that night was Grant Teichman of the Brentwood Bruins.
Yeah, he showed out. He scored over 20. I think he had 23 points, game high. If you saw Coach King's quotes, that's what he talked about. He did. It's just typical for him. He's going to bang in 2 or 3 threes. He's going to hit all his shots at the line. He's going to get some rebounds, putbacks. He is really playing very well for them offensively. And you've got some guards who can penetrate and get it out to him. You cannot leave. And he's been doing it since he was a sophomore. You cannot leave Teichman alone, or he's going to drain a 3 on you.
Well, the entire squad shoots the ball well. No, what's strange to me is Franklin comes in. Franklin's literally a guard away from competing for the district championship. You've got Critchlow, you've got the Hargrave kid, you've got Mathews, you've got all these guys that are across the board, 6'3", 6'4", and then their guard play is maybe not as strong as Coach would like it right now. I think they're going to get better. They're going to contend as the years go on. Now, like I said, the score is no indication of what happens. Franklin is down 6 points. They cut the lead. It was a double-digit lead. They cut it late with the ball down 6 on a 3-on-2 break. Mathews had just hit a 3, sitting wide open in rhythm, ready to catch. The guard goes the opposite direction. Turnover. The point guard from Brentwood, I believe his name is Jalen Lawson. He is extremely fast, can shoot the ball well, makes a great play, goes down. They then hit a shot, and that's a 5-point swing just like that. Now, back to Teichman. Brentwood Bruins show extreme basketball IQ. I mean, there's just so many small things that I was impressed with as you watch them play. Things that it's hard to coach. For instance, we always had 3 rules on screens. You know what they are?
I do not.
Wait. You want to guess the third one?
Wait.
So as you're receiving a screen, you want to set up your man, obviously, duck your head in the basket, as we used to say, and wait. Let the screener come down, head hunt, hit the guy and go. Never one time did I ever see him exchange. That always throws the rhythm off. Their timing is perfect. This Teichman kid right here, though, he has got something about him. He has got it. He's got the confidence. He can shoot the ball well. He's fast. He gets to the hole well, passes the ball. It's going to be really fun to watch these guys throughout the year.
Oh, yeah, and he's got experience, too. They've made it to the state tournament the past 2 years. So think of all those games they've put in, too. I saw something I was wondering from you, from a coach's point. They were down by 6 early, and Coach Wilson from Franklin said then they went to the zone, and we hesitated. We cannot hesitate in the game of basketball. Talk a little bit. What did he mean by that? Brentwood's playing them man, and it's close. They go to that zone, and, man, it was downhill after that.
It was an interesting time. It was a very good strategy from Coach King. He said, okay, what was happening was Franklin was running their offense well, okay? Hit a couple shots, penetrate, collapse, kick, hitting some shots, keeping it close early. So what they did was, okay, we're not playing well right now, man-to-man, so let's go zone and see what happens. And then all of a sudden, Franklin kind of stopped the momentum, making some passes here and there, not getting the ball where they wanted, which is inside out with their size. And took some ill-advised shots off the dribble, which you don't want to really do off the zone a lot. You want to get east to west, ball swings fast, get them moving, do a lot of skips in there, and then try to hit the inside. If not, take the outside shot. So Franklin struggled on that. Rebounds, man, Brentwood gets it out. Secondary offense as fast as anybody. Buckets, boom, right back into the zone. Struggle with that, and then all of a sudden they built that lead. Franklin on defense got a little tired. They run their offense pristine all the way through. Keep running it across screens. What you don't want to do as a defender is let the guy cut your face, go in front of you. And they did it a couple times, got an easy basket or two. Coach Wilson, I know as a coach, is just banging his head. Talking about those things, I can hear him saying it as well, and it still happens. So that's Brentwood and Franklin. We're going to do a quick rundown. We're going to finish out Centennial 2-6, 0-2. One opener against Stratford, and then all of a sudden they kind of lost 4 in a row there. Next game against Dixon. Talk about Indy real quick.
Well, they're better. They're 6-5, 1-1 in the district. They've lost 2 in a row, Brentwood by 18. But you know when you hear them, you're going to talk about the Murphy brothers, Grayson and Patrick. And Austin Osborne had I think he had 21 points the other night. So Indy's young, but they're getting better. They're competitive.
Osborne is the Cincinnati Christian, I believe, signing kid. Can play well with them. They're going to be interesting. Indy, do not sleep on Indy. They're going to be right there. Ravenwood 5-5, 2-1, won a big winner there. Overtime thriller at Old Sparty, 71-67. Let's not forget about Old Sparty. 9-4, 1-1 in the district. They have won 4 of their last 6. Play Spring Hill Friday. I expect that to be a win. John Carter, all those guys playing well. This is going to be a dog race now with these guys. I think Brentwood might be the clear-cut favorite, but before the end of the year, don't sleep on Indy, don't sleep on Franklin, don't sleep on Sparty. It's going to be fun to watch. So we have 30 seconds left. Pick 'em. This is the start of our pick 'em in basketball this year. Fairview at Lewis County girls. Go.
Fairview.
I'm going to go with you there. Fairview as well. Summit, Old Sparty at Spring Hill.
Summit, Old Sparty.
I'm going to go with Old Sparty as well. Coach Goodwin getting back in the column there. Centennial at Franklin.
The other Coach Goodwin, Franklin.
I'm going to go Franklin as well. There's no difference. Fairview at Lewis County boys.
I got to go with Lewis County.
I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go against you. Jackets right there get back in the win column. Summit at Spring Hill.
Old Sparty.
Old Sparty all the way. Centennial at Franklin boys. This could be interesting.
I think it's going to be a good game, but I'm going with my man Joe Critchlow, Garrison Mathews, Franklin. I'm going with the Rebels.
I'm going with the Rebels as well. Critchlow, the size, just too tough for Centennial. Man, we're going to have a lot of games this year. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun.
You beat me in football, but I'm making a comeback right here. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm co-host Jeremy Qualls, and with me as always is Tate Mathews. This is WCS Game Day. Remember, be nice. We'll see you next time. Oh.